Hello, CPE residents. This is Chaplain Jessup, and I want to pick up with some of our orientation topics that we want to discuss whenever we get together for the first session. Of course, components of CPE include the learning goals, the things that you want to walk away with at the end of the semester. We will have a case conference, which will involve written reports, and we will have a reading seminar, which will involve a group discussion of our texts, books, and then we will have IPR, Interpersonal Relations Group. And in this IPR, Interpersonal Relations Group, we will be talking about two basic questions which have to do with, first of all, your professional development, which is what are you working on, or your personal development, what's working on you. In addition to these components, we will have a time each week as time schedules allow. We will have a time together which is called individual supervision, where you will talk about some aspect of your ministry that you'd like to have consultation on. There are project reports and, of course, evening on call sessions that are required. So let's move ahead with an overview of the written requirements, learning goals. Each one of you should have received now a worksheet that's due at the first supervisory session with the supervisor, and this will be scheduled. The first session is going to be the week after we meet for our first session. And you have already seen this learning covenant. It should have come to you in an email with some of the emails that came with Brenda. And so, and it will look something like this to start with. Be sure you've had an opportunity to look through that and you've given a lot of thought to the questions here, and you've typed that report up either on this worksheet or in some other format, and bring it with you to your first supervisory session. The case conference reports is really the heart of our work together in CPE. And whenever we get together for our first orientation, we will begin to look at the schedule for these. There are 8 that are due, and 1 is due each week, beginning the following week after orientation. And they are due the day of seminar. And you can email that to me at bjessup@firsthelp.org. And you want to use the watermark format template that Brenda has emailed to you. Of course, there are specific guidelines that we want you to use whenever you are creating this case conference report. And so you will have a copy of this and the guidelines, again, for preparing a case review. CPE residents are to use the Word template provided by First Health in creating and transmitting documents electronically. Your template must have a watermark saying "Do not duplicate," confidential, do not duplicate. A case review. Now, if you're familiar with some of the wording like a verbatim or in social work case study, then you're familiar with this general format. But a case review is a report of your recollection of a recent pastoral encounter. To the best of your memory, you are to recall the actual dialogue, your feelings, your impressions, interpretations, and any other pertinent information about the pastoral visits. The following guidelines will spell out the format for writing these, and essentially there are 3 sections to it: the introduction, your name, the date of the conversation, age, sex, presenting problem of the patient, any background information necessary for understanding the situation. As you're writing this first section, keep in mind, though, to do not use actual protected health information identifiers such as actual name, city, and county and state. Use non-identifiers such as local city, distant county, etc. Do not even reference First Health Moore Regional Hospital in your document or the city in which First Health Moore Regional Hospital is located. Everything should be as non-identifiable as possible. So keep this little paragraph in mind as you get on board writing these case reviews. The purpose of your visit, your observation as you enter the room, the sights and sounds and smells, arrangement of the people in the room, general impressions as you enter the room, all of these can be parts of your case review in the first section. Now, the second section is the bulk of the case review format. And it's where you document as best as you can the actual conversation that took place between you and the other person, whether this is a patient in the hospital or a parishioner in your congregation. Single space the dialogue of each person, with a double space between the speakers. So in your manual, we will have a sample of this. 2, identify each segment of a conversation, like if chaplain 1 and then patient 1. That's one segment of conversation right there. Another segment of conversation will be chaplain 2 and patient 2, and so forth. Add any explanatory comments. They need to be placed in parentheses, including any observations, feelings, impressions, and nonverbal conversations, such as laughter, crying, and so forth. They are inserted as parentheses, and they're usually italics. Include any scripture, prayer, or other religious resources used in the visit. Again, do not use the other person's name, but identify them with a simple letter of the alphabet. Note particular areas of the conversation you have difficulty in remembering and at points which you felt uncomfortable. That's a good indication for you to look at as you move forward. Now, notice as you're writing the conversation, note that the conversation needs to be anywhere from 20 to 25 interchanges between the patient and family. So, and then the final and third section of this template is the evaluation, and there are about 3 or 4 basic sections here. The theological concerns, how would you describe the visit in theological language? Psychosocial, how would you describe what's going on psychosocially and your understanding there? And then pastoral opportunities. And then finally, as you move toward the end of the case review, You want, having given a full evaluation of your contact and connection, what questions do you have for your supervisor and peers concerning this pastoral encounter? And you want to be as specific as possible when it comes to raising your questions for consultation. Where is it you'd like to learn? What would you want your others to give you feedback on? And so forth. Now, we will be transmitting these electronically, and I want to say here parenthetically that we're on the honor system, and at the end of the unit, First Health requires that you delete all case reviews that are received from other peers to be deleted from your computer. So anyway, a little bit about our case conference preparation. And part of the written requirement that is necessary. Let's look at a couple more before our time runs out. Each week there will be a weekly summary, and this is going to be a kind of like a journal article, and it's to be at least one page but no more, emailed to me at firsthealth.org, and it's due the day of seminar. So in closing, let's look at what the weekly summary looks like. Of course, you have the template here. Someone has defined a journal as a book in which people keep a personal record of the events of their lives, of their different relationships, of their response to things, of their feelings about things, of their search to find out who they are and what the meaning of their life might be. For a century, persons have written in journals in times of loneliness, crisis, transition, conflict, spiritual quest, physical or intellectual challenge, serendipitous or serendipitous joy. Journals provided companionship, emotional release, clarification, resolution, the self-affirmation required for courage, the discovery of spiritual resources, and a deeper appreciation of their lives. Your weekly summary is your attempt at this spiritual journey, journaling, and growth in self-understanding. The writing style is to be reflective and narrative. The length of this assignment is only one page and is to be submitted electronically. And I have for you here some questions, prompts that you can take a look at. You don't have to respond to each one of these questions each week, but they're just some prompts for you as you begin your journey with us. Okay, so take a look when you get your manual, and then guidelines for the reading seminar. We will have a reading seminar each day on Wednesdays, and then we'll have one whenever we have our online seminar. But essentially, as you begin to prepare lessons for the reading seminar, I would ask that you follow each of the questions below for preparation. As a leader for the day, engage your peers around the three central issues, concepts, facts in the reading. Seek consensus from the group on these three. And identify two aspects of the reading that you did not understand. Once each peer has identified their two aspects, lead the group in clearing up these areas. Identify a question that you'd like to ask the author. After each person has identified their question, the group needs to decide which one would be the most interesting to be asked. Well, our time is up, but this gives you a brief introduction to some of the components and the written requirements of our CPE. We'll cover these again during our orientation day.